He didn't think much of it when the phone rang. It was late. The kind of late where everything outside your walls feels distant, like the world has gone quiet without telling you. The street below his apartment was empty, washed in a dim orange glow from a flickering streetlight that struggled to stay steady. A cold breeze moved through the trees, brushing leaves against each other in a dry, restless sound that carried faintly through the night. Inside his apartment, everything was still. The air felt heavy, unmoving, like it had been sitting there for hours. The faint hum of electricity filled the silence, mixed with the occasional soft creak of wood settling in the walls. It wasn't unusual, just the kind of quiet you stop noticing after a while. Then his phone lit up. Unknown number. He stared at it longer than he normally would. Something about it felt off. Not dangerous, not urgent, just unfamiliar, in a way that didn't sit right in his chest. The screen glowed softly in the darkness, reflecting faintly in his eyes. He almost ignored it, but instead he answered, "Hello, silence," then breathing, soft, uneven, too close. He frowned slightly and adjusted the phone against his ear. "Hello, can you hear me?" The breathing continued. No response, just that slow, uneven rhythm, like someone standing too close to the microphone. Then a voice, low, flat, controlled, "Don't hang up." He sat up slowly, his back straightening without him realizing it. "Who is this?" No answer, just breathing again. "Then I need you to listen." Something about the way it was said made his chest tighten. Not fear yet, but something close, something that made him more aware of the room around him. "Listen to what? You're the only one who picked up." He blinked. "What do you mean I called others?" The words came slowly, measured, like they had been chosen carefully. "But you answered." The room felt quieter after that, too quiet, like something had shifted. "What do you want?" A pause. Then, "Are you alone?" He hesitated. "Yeah, good." That word stayed with him longer than it should have. It didn't sound relieved. It didn't sound concerned. It sounded final, like something had just been confirmed. The temperature in the room seemed to drop slightly. Not enough to see, but enough to feel. "Why are you asking me that?" No answer. Instead, "Stay on the line." His grip tightened around the phone. "Why?" Another pause. Then, "Because if you hang up, it will know." The silence that followed that sentence felt different, heavier, pressing. "What will know?" No reply. Instead a sound. Faint. Barely there, but real. A creak. Behind him, he turned slowly toward the hallway. Dark, empty, nothing moving. "That is not funny. It's not a joke." The voice didn't change. "You opened the door." His stomach tightened. "I didn't open anything." "You did." "No." "You answered." The words landed harder this time. The air in the room shifted slightly, subtle, but enough to feel. "What does that even mean?" "No answer." "Then, don't move too fast." His breath caught. "You won't see it if you do." He stood slowly, every movement careful. "Where is it?" "Closer than you think." A sound again, clearer this time. A step, inside the apartment. His heart began to pound. "That is not possible." "It is." "How do you know?" A pause. Then, "Because it's already inside." The silence that followed wasn't empty anymore. It felt occupied. He listened, and then he heard it. Breathing, not from the phone, from somewhere in the room. Slow, heavy, too close, right behind him. His entire body locked. "That is not real." "It is." The voice sounded further away now. "I tried to warn you." The lights flickered. Once, twice. Shadows stretched across the walls unnaturally, bending in ways that didn't match the objects around them. The air felt thicker, harder to breathe. Then, a second voice, not from the phone, deeper, slower. Right beside him. "You should have hung up." His hand trembled. "What are you?" The first voice returned faintly. "It knows where you are now." The temperature dropped sharply. Cold spread across his skin, like something moving through the air. He turned slowly. Nothing. But the feeling didn't leave. It stayed, watching, waiting. Then the call changed. It didn't disconnect, it shifted. The line went quiet, not silent, listening. He swallowed. Hello, no response. Then footsteps, through the phone, not in his apartment, somewhere else. Walking, slow, measured. Then a door opening, a low creak, then silence again. What is that? No answer. Then you can't leave. Now. The lights went out. Darkness filled the room instantly. Complete. His breathing became loud in his ears. The phone felt warm, too warm. Then a whisper, right next to him. Not from the phone, from the room. You stayed. The call ended. The screen went black. No number, no history, nothing. But the silence didn't go back to normal. It stayed heavy, occupied. Minutes passed, or maybe longer. Time didn't feel clear anymore. Then the phone vibrated again. The screen lit up. No caller, no message thread, just text appearing. Still there, his chest tightened. He didn't reply. Another message appeared. You didn't leave. His breathing got sharper. Then another. You stayed. His fingers moved slowly. Who is this? The reply came instantly. You know, no I don't. You let it in, I didn't open anything. You answered the same words. Again. But this time they felt final. The room felt colder again. The air heavier. Then, it's learning. What does that mean? It copies. His breathing slowed slightly. Then he noticed something. The breathing in the room was matching his. Not exactly, but close. Too close. The final message appeared. It doesn't need the phone anymore. The screen went black again. Then a whisper, right next to his ear. You stayed. After that, no one heard from him again. Neighbors reported footsteps that night. Slow, back and forth, for hours. When police arrived the next morning, the door was locked from the inside. No forced entry, no damage, no struggle. Just an empty apartment, and a phone on the floor, battery drained, still warm. Investigators checked everything. No call records, no connection, no trace, nothing. But the battery had been full, yet drained completely overnight, as if something had been running. For hours, they searched the apartment again. The hallway floor had marks, not footprints. Movement, back and forth, repeated, like pacing, waiting, watching. No one knows what happened to him. No body. No explanation. Just one call. That never existed. And one question remains. If the voice knew where he was, did it ever really need the phone? What would you have believed if you saw him that day? A worried husband, or something far more dangerous? This is Forgotten Evidence, Buried Truths. Subscribe now, and stay with us as we uncover the truths others try to forget.